Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com, here with at least some content, even though it's going to be a crappy survey. I thought the last survey was kind of fun to do live, so we are going to do this Iconic Masters survey that Wizards has asked us to participate in. I'll have the link in the description below, where you also can take a part in this survey. But please be honest, I don't want my opinions to affect you one way or another. They are trying to do genuine market research here, so be honest. And don't get on the little train. There's nothing more than I hate than sheep. I'm going to talk about that in a video coming up. Just to address that a little bit, you've seen that I haven't been producing content for the past couple of days. That's nothing new for me. I think a fishing trip could explain that as much as anything else, but I've literally spent every waking hour on social media kind of to put out fires here and there. My name's been spread through the mud quite often. On the various social media platforms, and I apologize for nothing that I might have been involved in. And I'll talk about more about this later on as the week progresses. Gonna let it die down a little bit. Gonna wait for some other stuff to come out before I make a judgment on everything. But that video will be up and coming. Now, of all of you who don't like that sort of content, you know, right in my preview, my trailer, whatever you want to call it, the opening. It does say editorials. That's what I'm trying to say here. I do like to speak my mind. Some people just produce Magic content. I think that I took, there's no turning back after I made my first video about the MTG culture. It's just been a part of this channel for quite some time. So I've debated whether to make a second channel. I will be making a second channel, which will be for non-Magic related content. That will be called Potentially Kevin. But that is going to be a while before that kicks off. And I'm also going to be starting another channel for one of my other hobbies for people that are interested in that. But I mean, we'll just get back to the point. This will be still about making Magic content. I haven't been dissuaded by that. I don't think that anyone's going to run me out of this community regardless of how this situation pans out. But enough about that right now. Let's talk about Iconic Masters, which I don't think if this crap storm would have happened over the weekend, this would have been another crap storm that would have been happening. In fact, I had been compiling screenshots from various store owners and messages I've received from other people in the Magic Gathering market about Iconic Masters. Take away all this toxicity nonsense, and I think this is a bigger issue that Wizards is going to be facing within the next year. I talked about in my upcoming bear market. And I just think that they've been making some horrible policies. It seems like Wizards is the most guilty company of anyone that lets the pendulum swing one way. When they try to correct something that is wrong, they go complete opposite the other end. We saw that with like the F&M promos. We've seen that with like Modern, how they've flip-flopped a bazillion times about no Modern Pro Tours, no GPs, no, we're not going to support Modern. Now we're going to support Modern. I guarantee you, after this Modern Pro Tour, we're going to see Wizards disavowing the format again, because I do think that it's going to be overrun by very, very specific decks, very solitaire-based decks. I could be wrong here, because we were all wrong about Modern Masters, the GP there, where everyone thought Death Shadow would be just the kind of the back-breaking deck, and ended up just doing so. So anyway, we'll talk about more of that. It's coming up. This is specifically about Iconic Masters. So, well, here we go. So thank you for your interest in Iconic Masters. This survey is conducted on behalf of Wizards of the Coast by Market Points, an independent market research firm. Okay, yada, yada, yada. In the past 6 months, how often have you played Magic the Gathering? Once or more a week. I own a local game store. This is one thing about opening a local game store. If you ever want to open one, be prepared to be a bartender. The most important job you can do is just be a therapist to your people that come in. Oh man, I don't want to say that. I mean, I love all my gamers that come in, but sometimes it becomes very overbearing when they just expect me to be involved so much in their lives. Yes, I'm friends with a ton of them. A lot of them are very close friends, but it can become very overwhelming. I joke about that. I do appreciate them, and I appreciate them confiding in me enough to talk about their personal life, but sometimes it gets very, very overwhelming. And the second thing is they want you to be their buddy and play with them all day. That also can get quite annoying. I do like to cultivate people playing each other, but sometimes I'll be sitting behind my computer trying desperately to get work done, and people just nag about, please play me in this, come join our games, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like it's like my moral obligation to play Magic the Gathering with people. So anywho, just another rant for another day, but I play way more than once a week, way more than once a day. The amount of Magic the Gathering I consume is just unhealthy at this point. All right, how old am I? I prefer not to show my age. Whatever. We know how old I am. I'm an old man. Okay, so how would you rate the Iconic Masters expansion overall? This one is something. Like, here's the thing for me. I'm gonna rate this very poor because I think that the bad definitely overshadows the good. This was a very good draft experience. I'm still finding it very deep. I think I have identified the best strategy, which is black-blue control, hands down. If it's open, there just is too much black-blue control elements, and I don't think that anything even comes close to it. Kill and Fiend's fun, and Defenders is fun, and +1/+1 counters is fun, and all these other type of things are fun, but it's very inconsistent. I have yet to really be cut out of control when I want to be going that strategy. So both online and at my local game store, it's been a very easy that little ramp or control. There's so many finishers, like even like a Mohammedi Djinn is something that can finish off the game. So you don't need to be picking up your finishers, your bombs early. You just pick up removal, and then let it naturally play out to where you find the anything can become a finisher. So anyway, with that being said, the draft is okay. That whole aspect of playing it was perfectly acceptable, a little bit above average, I would say. But the way they've handled the release of Iconic Masters, the line to local game stores, by throwing it out there to big box stores, to overprinting this when this should have been a small print run, very similar to Modern Masters 1, because there just wasn't anything in the set that could hold the value for long term, where now we can see on Amazon you can find it for $160. You can then, of course, put in, that's on Amazon Prime, by the way. You can also find it at very, very low prices elsewhere on the internet. I've heard of people getting it for lower than I have, directly from Magic the Gathering, with like coupons and promos and things like that. And I've also heard of other stores selling at this at a loss just because they'd rather move their capital into something else that can make them money in this very pivotal Q4 time. So this is a very, very poor execution of Iconic Masters and very poor expansions, in my opinion, coming from my situation. Please rate the look of Iconic Masters. Would you say the look of Iconic Masters is, I don't know, it's a purple box? Sure, it's fine, fair. It's nothing special. Please rate the level of complexity in Iconic Masters. It's probably just about right. I explained this. The draft format is fine. There's definitely easily identifiable. I think Master sets, unfortunately, suffer from this too much. They become too pigeonholed into different strategies. Modern Masters 3 is a perfect example of this. I used to love drafting Modern Masters 3 one or two or three times, and then it just became like, for Modern Masters 3, I put not complex enough, because the decks build themselves. You're not the deck builder. The decks start to build themselves. It's very what's going to go in that deck. There is some overlap in archetypes, but not that much. This one does a little bit better of that, because you can go with a lot of these half C's type decks. You can go like tempo, you can go a ramp control, you can go a ramp aggro, you can just go flat out aggro, you can go mid-range, various numbers of ways of doing that. And there's some nice little complexities between cards that you don't see too often. And if you end up getting like Fireball and that giant that actually adds the mana, the X mana, or 4 colorless mana towards X spells for like Ivy Element, like these type of things, you can find like some cool little decks. Like, wow, this just played out, and that makes the enjoyable of the draft format pretty good, because I know it's going to be a lot harder for me to be sick of this draft format than it was for me to get the Modern Masters 3. And then Modern Masters 2, I think it was the exact opposite. I played it first, I'm like, this sucks, and then the more I played it, I liked it more and more. So there's this, I think it's just right. I like the complex. I think Iconic Masters in that aspect was very good for the draft format. How would you rate the rares in Iconic Masters? This is something I'm going to put as a very poor, because we have Flusterstorm. They wanted this. See, they don't know what they're doing with Iconic Masters. Like, they even called it like, when we go down this survey, hint, hint, I've taken this before. You're going to see that they actually do refer this as a modern set. Like, it was specifically for modern. And so with them admitting that, cards like Flusterstorm, cards like Mana Drain, when those are the cards that are supposed to like entice people to buy into this, it makes this very, discombobulated with where their focus is with this set. So We've also seen those type of cards are having a hard time holding their value. Mana Drain continues to go down in value. Flusterstorm as well. And we do have some decent rares that can hold the value, like the Cryptic Command and the Aether Vial, which definitely both need a reprint. They just need a few more of those modern staples. I would have liked to see like Karn. I think Karn would have fit perfectly in this Iconic Masters. I guess that's a mythic. But other than that, we could have also seen some other, even Ugin, if they're putting Fate Reforged cards in this, which a lot of people have complained about because this was also disingenuous to like speculators and stores because they weren't on, like, if you follow the trajectory of other sets, I guess Eternal Masters did break the mold too by printing some cards from Origins and whatnot. But most of the Master sets had like, okay, we're not going to reprint anything from this year forward because the supply is still way out there for it. So anyway, I think that they could have put in a couple more rares, very, very staple rares or staple uncommons in the Iconic Masters to help mitigate the price devaluation of the set, because a lot of the chase cards, the Grove of the Burn Wheels, the Horizon Canopies, the Flusterstorms, the Mishra's Baubles, all those type of cards, the only reason why they were worth so much money is the supply of them was very, very dismal. Just go ahead and check out the card that Magus of the Moon. That card is the card that keeps hemorrhaging value like there's no tomorrow, just because that was a card that had very low supply and it had enough demand to just completely eviscerate the supply of the card, or the price of the card. So anyway, let's go on to the next one. How would you rate the experience of opening boosters of Iconic Masters? This goes back to the price point. This is a very poor. Of course, when the value was out there, when it was the value at EV of the set was about 1,000 when it first came out, which was on par with Modern Masters 3. And then it has quickly devalued to actually lower than any Master set by far. We're going to be going under the 500 mark here. I don't think any Master sets have even gone under the 600 mark. And the Modern Masters 2 rebounded quite quickly after it was released. And Modern Masters 3 also has flatlined way higher than that. So the 500 mark is extremely poor for this. This is not worth $10 a pack, not even close. Everyone is getting murdered. The foil prices of a lot of these cards that held the value too have just dismally gone down. And it's going to continue because we don't know where the supply ends, with that being out in Walmart. To be able to stock every Walmart, that is an insane amount of product. And I think that we're going to see the people, someone in the comment section, tell me who actually owns the Walmart. Because I know Walmart doesn't have anything to do with it. They just rent the space. Same with Target. They just rent the space, and then there's a vendor that keeps track of it. But I'm pretty sure we're going to start to see Iconic Masters, if they sell poorly at Walmart, start to be thrown in like the value packs, where they like try to put 3 packs together. And we're going to see these prices of these are really bottom out as well. That's my prediction with Iconic Masters. With the Walmart. All right, so what do you like best about Iconic Masters optional? Draft was fun. I liked the ability to build different decks and mix archetypes. Is that how you spell archetypes? Archetypes. That's what I liked about it. Okay. What do you like least about the Iconic Masters? The supply was way... Is that enough ways? Too high. Releasing this to Walmart and Target was not fair to local... we don't need to put local, to game stores and consumers who thought this was going to be a Masters or exclusive limited product. Boom. All right. How would you rate the following Iconic Masters? The +1 encounters is okay. I think they needed a little bit more to push to their top. Heroic needed to be in here for +1 encounters. That was a huge miss. So I'm going to throw this kind of average. Why was there not Heroic? They should have got rid of Seeker. They should have got rid of Prowess completely and put in the +1/+1 counters heroic strategy, and then this would have been a knock out of the park for the +1/+1 counters. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Prowess. Prowess is a great mechanic and actually works pretty well. Kiln Fiend, that was one of my favorite things. But I think that they could have, if they wanted +1/+1 counters, they could have done the heroic mechanic over something like Kiln Fiend or elusive Spellfist. We had a lot of cards from the even the Abzan colors, and you could even go splash in like the Unleash they had with the red. So you had the Satyr Hoplite for red. We also had the one out of the 2-drop out of black that gets +1 counters every time it's targeted. That I think would have been better. Would have been a better route to go. Would have been led to more of this +1 counter. Right now, with just the Unleash and the what's the other card? Why can't I think of it? The Abzan mechanic where they get bolstered. Not bolster. I can't think of it. But anyway, the Absent Falconer has it. That would work better with the heroic. I mean, those did exist at the same time in standard before, but I think it would have been good again. Mill I strongly dislike just because I didn't think it was there. Like, there's some half-ass mill, and then a lot of the cards just got thrown in other stuff, and it's just, I strongly dislike the mill element. You'll know that I'm not a fan of mill to begin with, even though I've built mill decks in the past. Defenders, I think, was actually slightly better. There's a lot of them out there. There's multiple ways to finish it off. So you could run like the Assault Formation, which I do think if people are going flat out Defenders, Assault Formation was very, very necessary for it. So even dumbing that down to a common might have been the best way to go, because you can't rely on an uncommon. But then they also did give you the ability to mill with Defenders or just do direct damage to Event Sentinel. So either way, I think it was fine. What they really need is that Conspiracy card, the one that allowed Defenders to attack. The 2-mana target Defender can attack. The white 3/4 Defender Gargoyle. That would have been perfect for the Defender strategy too. They just need one more, either Assault Formation dumb down or one more common uncommon to help Defenders attack. Otherwise, it was fine. Dragons, I think, was actually pretty good, but I would have liked to see more dragons in more colors. The Phantom Dragon would have been fine. I mean, you could have given some more ability for other colors, because we did have, I know they wanted you to go into black and red for dragons, but the mix and match would have been fun. You could have done like some of the mill dragons from Dragons of Tarkir, so then you have mill plus dragons. Or is there a Defender dragon out there? Or I think there's a Prowess dragon, or even a +1/+1 dragon. Like, you should have just themed this in with everything else so you could mix and match, and then you could splash you didn't have to be in just black red dragons. You could go into a little more versatile way to build that. So that was a little bit like, I think, again, pigeonholed into going a particular color scheme, which is what I don't like to go. So +1 counters, again, they had the Abzan. You could go Abzan, but there are other color combinations that could make +1 counters work. All right, Prowess. Prowess is the laziest theme. So I didn't like Prowess whatsoever. I think that was a 2, just because of, I've already talked about, I think a rope would have fit better in here. But Prowess is fine. Maybe I'll give it a 3, because it's just one of those. Prowess is a mechanic that's just lazy. There's nothing special about it. It's a card that gets a +1/+1 until a turn, usually if you cast a non-creature spell. Snooze. It's lazy. It's boring, and especially when they didn't run some of the coolest Prowess cards of all time. What's the legacy card? The Mentor. Mentor would have been great for this type of thing, but again, they could have dumbed it down to a rare and had some value packed into this set for that being a rare. But then we'd have no faith in like sets from Return to Ravnica forward, because everything good has been reprinted. All right, so what is your favorite card in Iconic Masters? What is my favorite card in I know there's Kiln Fiend's an awesome one, but I've also said I don't like Kiln Fiend in the deck. What's the most interesting card that I think I really like the Blizzard Spectre. I think that Blizzard Spectre is the most fun I've had with a card out of Iconic Masters. So I'm gonna choose Blizzard Spectre. That's the one that can bounce a card. When it deals combat damage, you either make them discard a card or they have to bounce a permanent. And so Blizzard Spectre Lock is a really, really fun deck if you get enough of these. It was probably my favorite. I 4-0'd that draft quite easily with the Blizzard Spectre, because it's just you had a bunch of Reeve Souls and Doomblades and things like that, removed everything, and then Blizzard Spectre just locked them out. So I think Blizzard Spectre is my favorite card out of Iconic Masters. Again, I'm not a fan of good cards. I'm a fan of like just good design cards. All right, this is going slow. We'll speed this up. Why is that? Choose it, apply. Fits creature type, hasn't been printed in a long time. Works well in a specific format. Fits my playstyle. I just think fits my playstyle is the best, and yeah, fits my playstyle. That's about all. Please select the year from which you started playing. I started playing in Revised 1994. The very first pack I opened was a Tundra, and I was super jelly of my, did I just say the word jelly? Super jealous of my friend who opened up a veteran bodyguard, because why'd he get a cool pirate looking guy and all I got was a stupid land? So, yep. Funny as kids, we don't know what value is. Oh, we used to like Birds of Paradise too, because like, why do we care about a card that's a land? Stupid. And naive little kids. When was the last time you played Magic Duels? About more than 12 months ago. I played it for just a tiny bit and thought it was stupid. I didn't like the sorcery aspect of it. So, when was the last time you played Magic Online? Can I say within the hour? Because well, I guess that's not true, but within the last day? Have you ever signed up for the Magic in the Arena beta? Yes, I have. I actually have beta. They're telling me I'm going to participate in beta, but you have yet to receive any more information about it, and would be surprised if I do after this week. How many Magic the Gathering tournaments or events, such as Friday Magic Things tournaments or pre-release, have you participated in the last 6 months? More than 10. Again, this is a duh when you own a store. Do you have a DCI number? Yes, I do. Which of these have you participated in? I haven't done a PPTQ or a Pro Tour in the last 6 months. So neither one of these, just because I kind of opted out of this. I don't want to drive 3 hours to the closest one, so it's just not worth it for me for preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers. I wish they'd just go back to PTQs rather than preliminaries. I understand why they do that, but since they should do preliminary, it shouldn't be about winning one. I think they should do it about how many points you can accumulate in preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers. That way, a person that wants to grind it can be and get enough wins. That should qualify them for a Pro Tour qualifier. So I know so many people that have gone like their win percentage has just been insane at these PPTQs, and they are so frustrated because they just can't win one. They're so close. They're second or third or over and over and over again, and it's like they're deserving to go to these PTQs, but it's just that's my beef with that whole system. But I have done Draft Weekend, I've done a Grand Prix, I've done a pre-release tournament, Standard Showdown, Magic League, which are very popular in my store, by the way, Friday Night Magic, and Magic Open House. Yes, I've participated in all of those. How do you prefer to play Magic? Choose all the apply. Commander, yes. Sealed, yes. I don't play Vintage or Legacy because I'm not rich. Anything goes. I'm not a fan of anything goes. Two-headed giant, I don't prefer playing two-headed giant because it becomes one-headed giant because I just control my opponent because I'm such a control my ally, my person I'm with, because it's hard for me to give up the power of control of when we're playing a game. Love Cube, love Draft, love Standard. Well, that's debatable, but I usually a fan of Standard. I would click this Modern format, but I did sell out of Modern because until they want to actually address the problems of the format, I've given up on it. It's just, I don't like playing Solitaire, and that's just preference. If you like it, go for it. Go for it. Play Modern to your heart content. I don't like it. Quit giving me beef over it. Other, please specify. No, that's pretty good. Are there Magic colors that you strongly prefer? What are your top choices? I am a black player. It has always been the color that's kind of sunk with me because it's like it does a good job of doing what all the other colors do, but at a cost. So I think it makes it a more complex than the other colors. So yeah, if you notice how many decks I build with black in that, it is overwhelming the color that I prefer. My second choice would be green, and that's because I think it's the most fun pairing with black is black-green decks. So but my least favorite color pairing is green and white. Green and red is also a color pairing I tend not to like. Green, blue, green, black, love those two. White, black, love white, black. I love white, red. That's my aggro preference. Not green, red, or black, green, or not black, red, or green, red. I like white, red for my aggro preference. So yeah, so black, green are my favorite two colors. Did you follow the Iconic Masters previews in September? And it's kind of my job too. How did the previews affect your intent to purchase the following sets? Ixalan, much higher intent to purchase because, new set, spoilers come out, want those cards. Iconic Masters, this was much lower intent to purchase when I figured out there wasn't going to be any value in the set. Then it was me like, not going to buy as many boxes as I was going to. Which master sets have you purchased? All of these, multiple, tons of them, drafted all of them, played in all of the Grand Prix that they're available at. Do you plan to purchase more or less Iconic Masters? A lot less. The value is not there. It's a joke of a set now. It's just go spend your money on 2 boxes of Ixalan rather than that. And you'll, two boxes of Aether Revolt and you'll have a better chance of breaking even. Why is that? Can't keep up with the pace of releases? Nah, not necessarily. Less interested in drafting on Iconic Masters? Nah, no. Can't afford it? No money? Nope, I got the money. Standard rotation? What does that have to do with standard rotation? None of the cards are standard rotation. Not enough tournament quality cards. Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner here. See, this is what I'm talking about. Don't like the current modern environment. That's, I don't like it though. I'm just gonna, even though that doesn't have anything to do with it, I don't like the current modern environment. Set is uninteresting. Again, I think that could, I don't know. It's interesting enough, but there's not enough tournament quality. People around me are not interested. Actually, we're still selling it quite good at our store. Saving for other sets. Bought a lot of other sets. Yes. I would say this. Like, I'll say the money. I've sunk my money elsewhere. I'm not going to add anything. Well, I'm just going to say like, what? Yes, we'll say Rivals. I'd rather save my money to buy some Rivals. Prefer to buy singles. Of course, that's usually how I do, but this is what I mean. Like I draft everything. This isn't going to affect it if I prefer to buy singles. Not complexity, mechanics are interesting, and other supply. No value. And what is the primary reason you're purchasing less? No value. Oh, saving for other sets. Don't like the current modern environment. Not enough tournament quality cards. And that's probably I'll put that one. I don't want to like repeat myself. When do you typically purchase cards from new Magic sets? The day it's released. Actually pre-buy everything as a store, of course, but then I start just purchasing cards like crazy the day they release. Where do you buy Magic the Gathering cards? Let's see, booster packs at local game stores. Come on. Come on, people. You better be clicking that. You better be clicking that. You better be clicking that. Both of these. There we go. I don't mind these, but support your local game stores. How much have you spent on Iconic Masters products? So this one is, of course, is kind of misleading. I would say I probably spent around $200 in drafts. Me personally, that's how many drafts I've done. So what are we thinking about? $25 per draft. I'll have to have $20 to $30 for doing the $10 per booster pack. I probably played in, oh man, probably more than that. I would say 300 because I probably played in over 10 drafts of Iconic Masters. Yeah, I would say I spent about $300 if you can't count like Magic Online. Even though I haven't spent money on Magic Online in ages, thank you to Market. I'm pretty savvy at running the market. I have not spent a cent on Magic the Gathering in over a year. Anyway, so what percentage? 100% on boosters because I don't buy singles when you draft. That's kind of silly. You can't buy singles I'm not a cheater, so I'm not buying singles to throw into my draft packs unlike some people I know. I've caught people doing that before, by the way. How do these Iconic Masters boosters purchases compare to purchases you've made from other recent sets? A lot less than other sets, definitely. Definitely I've spent a lot less on Iconic Masters than other sets. Yes, I'm a high roller in Magic. I have a way to unload cards that I buy or that I draft. So for me, it makes money. For other people, I know this is a kind of like a money-sucking hobby. So I'm very, that's a very unique position I'm in. Which of these products you usually buy when a new set comes out? I buy booster packs. Planeswalker decks are a joke. I do not buy those. We sell them, of course, like crazy. Booster battle packs, what the hell are those? Are those like 4-pack stuff that are at Walmart that they used to make? Deck Builder's Toolkit. Can I go on a rant about Deck Builder Toolkit? This is something that actually changed my mind, though. Like, you can ask Zach. I have fought tooth and nail with Zach about having Deck Builder's Toolkits at our store because I think they're the biggest waste of money. But everyone asks for the damn things. Even like older players. I'll have like an older player that buys one Deck Builder's Toolkit per set. I'm like, are you insane? Like, what do you need a Deck Builder's Toolkit for? It's just they're overcharging you for a bunch of worthless commons and uncommons and lands. And some people just like it. I don't get it. But yeah, so this is something that I think the product sells phenomenally well. So I'm not going to judge it based upon my where I'm at as a player. I don't buy the bundles either. Same reason. I think that these are just, they're upselling you. They're selling you for crap you don't need. And booster packs, even booster packs are not the way to go. But I draft, so of course I need to buy the booster packs to draft. All right, on average, how many booster packs do you buy from a new set? Do not include booster packs contained in a product. Do not include. Okay, but do I draft this? Because this is the question here. I probably do when an entire draft is like a block is drafted. I probably at least draft about 20 times. So I would say that me personally, through the sealed events and drafts, I would probably buy 3. So that's 60 there, and then all the pre-releases, another probably like 30. I don't know. I'd say let's pay 100 booster packs. That's probably what I personally go through during the leagues, the sealeds, the booster drafts for a particular product. That's probably pretty fair. About 100 booster packs. All right. Which of the following products have you purchased? Choose all that apply. All of these, of course, I have bought. And I live in Africa, the United States of America, Richfield, Utah. Come check it out sometimes. You want to be bored out of your mind, or you can come say hello to me and I'll take you fishing. One thing that's great about this area. And how do I identify myself as? Well, let me look. I am a male. Okay, cool. Glad we got that established. And which survey link did you click to take the survey? I think this one came from Twitter. Yeah, this one came from Twitter. All right. Thank you for your participation. I hope you all do take this survey. I know this has been a very rambly. Goddamn, only I can take a survey and make this 31 minutes long. But I hope you enjoyed my insight. And I highly, highly suggest that you do give Wizards feedback. We need more people giving them feedback. Otherwise, we're just going to go through this echo chamber over and over. Speaking of which, in the upcoming days, I hope you give your feedback. Whether you're on my position or not, your voice needs to be heard. That is the only way we progress as a society. I know that a lot of people feel like they cannot speak their mind. They will be punished for speaking their mind. You can't let the two outrage cultures on either side win. Speak your mind. Let's solve this crap. Anyway, this is Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.